Welcome back. It's the News Extra, and we're speaking with Lyndon Batiste, the local author of 90 Days of Violence. Lyndon, you finished basically on the 20th of November, you were saying, and one of the very, very telling things I remember going through the book was looking at the fact that our murder rates, our death toll, was compared to places like Guyana and Jamaica, and for years and years and years, we have always been on the outside looking in at their murder statistics. This year, ironically, we, for lack of a better phrase, are now competing and probably exceeding on a per capita basis what their figures are like. And I find it really, really interesting in the book that this book is written talking about it, and lo and behold, here we are, as you said in the book, more murders than these. How does that affect your life as an author to now have to research that sort of thing and bring it to the public and make them aware that while 500 people or over 500 plus seems small, those are 500 people who can no longer contribute to society?
I think it is very scary, you know, when you look and you see that especially the lives are young. And, you know, let's clear something up. The word violence here isn't just, I'm not just looking at it in terms of murders. You're going to have different, as the story progresses, you're going to find people who are being affected by alcohol. You're going to find people who are being affected by the lifestyle growing up at home. And I try to distribute these people throughout the country, but it's sad to see how people, you know, life could just be snapped out that easily. And, I mean, with no good reason. Yeah. I mean, is there ever a good reason, but no good reason. Yeah. And I really hope that, you know, when people look at it, that it could be some form of an eye-opener for them. That they could say, hey, we're going down the wrong path, especially the people that have the opportunity to make a difference in our life, be it in government or the NGOs or anybody that could contribute to the welfare of the people. Because, I mean, I think even from my own background, that matters to me a lot, you know.
In your mind, and this is purely conjecture and your opinion, it's nothing to do with fact, do you think that the direction that we have taken with regard to violence on any level in this country can be changed or should be changed by each citizen taking part in it, or the government being more proactive, or the government being more invasive and aggressive with regard to addressing violence on any level? Because for so many years in this country, domestic violence was not brought to the forefront. And even here, when you talk about little Chandra, who essentially grew up in a rum shop because that's where his father was, and once again it affected his life because it's what he grew up he grew up watching his father be violent towards his mother. Where do we stand as a people based on having to write a book like this to change violence of any nature in this country?
Okay, that's a great question, and that's something that comes up later on. I want to start with the home life first of all.
Yes.
We need to take back the home. The parent needs to take back the home. By becoming more involved, I think there's a gap in the home life in a lot of homes. The role of the government, that's something I actually explore with a nighttime issue with the Prime Minister and his wife. And, you know, they're talking about what we could do. And I think to bridge a lot of gaps, like you see, particularly with the police and the people, we need to become more involved with children. You do things like start sending policemen to school, start sending firemen. I mean, it is something that's touched on every little boy or every girl. I want to be a teacher, I want to be a nurse. Right. You know, actually involve these people. See, you know, have some kind of, I came up with something a while ago called the Polite Program. And the Polite Program is where you have policemen and let them assist with people cross the road. And you know, when people see that you care, the government cares about us, you could start to close that gap. So it has to do with bringing it at home with the parent, monitoring certain things that might be out of hand, your television, internet usage, the stuff that you read while you have in your school bag, while you're bringing home from school, alright, who sharpen your teeth. Right. Right, things like that. Carry back. And say sorry. You know, at the government level, something I would really like to see is them becoming more involved with like primary school children. Because if we don't capture it at that level, my belief is you'll have hope.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think this morning in the newspaper we've seen a 16-year-old gunned down or something like that. 2 teenagers on the and that's unfortunate. So you need to capture them as youth. That's my belief, and that's the role that the home could play and the government could play.
Ambrose is the 7th Prime Minister in this book, and I'll be honest with you, there are so many similarities to so many different people. It seems like an amalgamation of leaders, not necessarily former prime ministers alone, but also government type people. For me, reading it, I get a sense of, you know, you've watched enough of the national stage take place, and did it influence putting Ambrose together?
I'll be honest, before this book, I knew nothing about politics. I still don't know a lot about politics. So I'm now doing a lot more research into that. But what I tried to capture was the man who cares about the country, and he cares about every single individual. And if he meets you on the street, you know, what you need help with, so to say, somebody that's really socially oriented. And I put them together based on that.